Graham Campbell, that's not what you say, Councillor Mick Gallup, Councillor Chris Tomlinson, Councillor Philip Walker, Mr. Simon Derby, the Works Manager, Mr. Martin Downs, the Deputy Works Manager, Mrs. Tina Wright, our RFO, Mrs. Donna O'Neill, the Mayor's Secretary. Next item on the agenda is I'd like to approve the minutes of the true record of the annual Town Assembly held on the 6th of March 2024. I'll propose this from the Chair. Can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Cullen. Begin by show of hands, all those who were there, all those in favour. Thank you. Please show with the ghost. Thank you. It has been an immense honour to serve as the Mayor of Gillingham for the civic year 2024-2025. Over the past year, Gillingham Town Council has worked diligently to support our residents, maintain and enhance our public spaces, deliver civic events, and act as a strong community voice. This evening will outline the work and key achievements of Gillingham Town Council during the 2024-2025 civic year. In May 2024, local elections were held across Portland, and in Gillingham we welcomed 6 new councillors to the council. Co-options filled remaining vacancies, and by the end of May, all 18 council seats were filled. The Town Council remains a politically independent council. Welcome. Following the elections, Gillingham Town Council successfully achieved the general power of competence for the first time, a significant milestone in the council's development. To qualify, the council met the necessary criteria, as in having a qualified clerk and a minimum of 2/3 elected councillors. Achieving this status marks a new chapter in the council's ability to act innovatively and proactively on behalf of the local community. We were delighted to hear this month that Gillingham Town Council was once again been awarded the Triple Star Award for councillor training. One of only 3 councils in Dorset to achieve this. Congratulations specifically must go to Councillor Barbara Rouse, who was named as one of the top 3 performing councillors in Dorset in terms of training. That is no small achievement. I'd like to give her a round of applause. Looks to me like you didn't know this, but you are, and that's a significant achievement for you. So lots of this presentation. You must. Gillingham Town Council has continued its proactive management of public open spaces, woodlands, rivers, play areas, and meadows. In 2024, once again, the Town Council achieved Green Flag accreditation for 3 key open spaces, as in the Stour, the Loddon, and the Stream. A big thank you to the Town Council's brilliant grounds team and to everyone else involved. I mentioned several times during the presentation, no mean achievement. I think the grounds team, they're 10, aren't they? 10 strong? Massive achievement for what they do with the resources they have at hand. The Town Council has continued to work in partnership with Gillingham Action for Nature Group, affectionately known as GAN. And thanks must go to Mr. Bob Messer and his volunteers who work on many of our public open spaces across the town. I wish to thank Councillor Fiona Cullen, sat in the front here, Chairman of the General Purposes Committee, and all the members who have undertaken a wide range of responsibilities, including the management and maintenance of council-owned land, buildings and community spaces, as well as a number of other issues that come across the General Purposes Committee desk. Here in Gillingham, we are committed to a high standard of estate management and are responsible for over 71 acres of public open spaces. Here are just a few of the many tasks carried out by our amazing grounds team. The team carried out tasks such as grass cutting, hedge and tree maintenance, repairs, refurbishment, and safety inspections are carried out across the town's 17 17 play areas, skate parks, and 2 outdoor gyms. This year, 9 play areas have been refurbished, and new play equipment has been installed at 4 of our sites. There were safety services, fences, and gates have been repaired and replaced in many areas. Other tasks performed by our grounds team include additional steps have been installed at Paul Hollow. Flood paths have been resurfaced. Finger posts have been repaired. Himalayan balsam has been removed from our rivers, or carefully removed from our rivers. Flower beds have been planted, weeded, and watered. And displays have been designed and constructed to commemorate special occasions that we celebrate. Riverbanks have been cleared and attenuation ponds maintained. The Christmas lights were tested and 80 artificial trees were erected, each requiring the installation of blue brackets this year. The large Christmas tree was generously donated by a local resident and was relocated to the town meadows, securely installed and illuminated. Again, this is work conducted and completed by our grounds team, a very versatile group of people. We're very grateful to have them. The Town Council is committed to protecting and enhancing natural habitats, supporting wildlife and promoting sustainable practices throughout the town. As part of our ongoing efforts, we are actively managing green spaces, planting trees, creating pollinator-friendly environments, and working to deliver meaningful environmental improvements. We are dedicated to safeguarding biodiversity for current and future generations, and while contributing to national goals for ecologically friendly. The town meadow provides a valuable outside community space for local groups and organisations, and is a location for many events. Last summer, public surveys showed that many residents were concerned that during the wetter months, the area became muddy and unusual. In July, the Town Council submitted a grant application to the United Kingdom Shared Prosperity Fund for funding towards improving the town meadow. In July 2024, the Council was awarded £57,182 towards the project, and work was completed by the end of 2024. Thank you to the Town Clerk, thank you to the Town Clerk and to everybody involved. We're looking forward to some great community events this year. And again, these grants don't happen by themselves. There's a significant amount of effort taken to apply for them. And you manage to deliver these process. It's not a small thing, can you be sure. Next, thanks must go to the Property Subcommittee under the lead of Councillor John Kilcourse. Looking magnificent in the audience there. Who have overseen the replacement of the roof and the installation of PV panels at Roman and Lot workshops. The panels provide a significant environmental benefit by generating clean, renewable energy, and we are already seeing the financial benefits of this renewable energy. Following a request from residents last year, the Town Council consulted the public on whether they would support the 20 miles per hour speed limit zones at several locations in the town. Dorset Council will be carrying out formal consultations in due course. Thanks must go to members of the Traffic Management Subcommittee under the lead of Councillor Graham Ashford for ensuring that any issues we have with traffic in the town are taken to the. This is not an easy job. Congratulations to Councillor Ashford and his team for managing this task. We've got many moving parts. Well done for that subject. Thanks to members of the Allotment and Burial Subcommittee under the lead of Councillor Alan Frith. Waiting list for allotments has been successfully reduced over the past year. A suitable site for a new cemetery has been identified, and we are now in the process of purchasing the land. Further information will be made available in due course in this subject. Thanks must also go to members of the Poor Memorial Subcommittee under the lead of Councillor Chris Tomlinson. A custodian conditional survey was carried out in January on the High Street War Memorial, and regular surveys will be carried out moving forward to ensure the safety and the welfare of this structure. At Millwall on Stour, the railings around the War Memorial is repaired, refurbished, and reinstated. Once again, it was a great honour for me to lead the town's annual Remembrance Parade and active remembrance of the town's War Memorial. This will be the first time I've heard of where a serving mayor has had the privilege to lead such an activity, and it's been a while, and it's been a journey. Partnership working essential for the town council. Working together with strong relationships encourages joint problem solving and ensures a more coordinated approach to meeting the needs of Gillingham residents. We have a close working relationship with the Dorset Council officers and councillors. Dorset councillors, Councillor Val Apothecary, Councillor Belinda Rideout, and Councillor Carl Wood. Nice to see you, Carl. Attend our monthly full council meetings and provide a valuable link between the two councils, which we are extremely grateful. Councillor Nick Ireland, leader of Dorset Council, visited Gillingham in November 2024 and again in January 2025. During his visits, Councillor Ireland met with town councillors and officers to discuss shared priorities, including the delivery of infrastructure to support the town's ongoing development. Last year, we issued more than, the council has been very busy. Last year, we issued more than 200 recycle bins, cut over 8 acres of grass, verges, and maintained approximately 650 metres of public footpaths on behalf of Dorset Council. I might add this is an ongoing cycle. It's not just done once. It's done in the cycle, as in cut, hedge, weed, mow, cut, hedge, weed. It's a continual thing during the summertime, so we shouldn't take this for granted. It's a task that's conducted under contract from Dorset Council. We do charge the council for this service. This year, the Town Council is working in close partnership with Dorset and Wiltshire Fire and Rescue Service by providing temporary use of the Council's workshop as an operational base for the fire service during refurbishment works at the Gillingham Fire Station. This arrangement ensures that emergency response times remain unaffected in the local area and keeps this valuable service inside Gillingham. The Town Council also works closely with the Gillingham Police and provide funding for the maintenance of Gillingham's CCTV cameras. We work closely with many outside organisations, including the Gillingham Chartered Transport Forum and the Blackmore Vale Community Rail Partnership. The Blackmore Vale Community Rail Partnership are extremely busy at the moment, organising events leading up to the commemoration of the 200th anniversary of the modern railway. But accordingly, they are unable to be with us this evening. They have, however, provided us with a detailed report, which is available for you to take away with you this evening. As new housing developments progress, Gillingham Town Council continues to work with developers on matters concerning the delivery of community infrastructure and the sports facilities. We also work closely with developers on the design of play areas and public open spaces. We will shortly be adopting the play areas at the Loddon Lakes Phase 1 development and the development north of Commonmead Lane. The Sports and Leisure Subcommittee, under the lead of Councillor Anna Marsh, who's nice to see you, and I hope your injuries improving. Have been working with developers, local sports clubs, Dorset Council, and the Gillingham Community and Leisure Trust, the GCLT, and we've got a member of RiversMeet here this evening, giving me a wave for them, to obtain a cohesive approach for future sports provision in Gillingham. A key member of this subcommittee is Jake Perry, General Manager of RiversMeet. His expert help and advice is always appreciated. I would then like to invite Jake to make a short presentation. The stage is yours. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you, first of all, just for the opportunity to be able to speak to everybody. I was wearing shorts there in the winter, if you did pick up on that. Yeah, to the amusement of many that came with us on that trip. So my name is Jake and I'm the General Manager for the Gillingham Community and Leisure Trust. We are a genuine not-for-profit trust that runs 2 leisure facilities in Gillingham. There are no shareholders within the business whatsoever. Any surplus and profit that is created is reinvested back into the facilities. So it's always ring-fenced rather for future provision of sports and leisure within Gillingham. The main leisure centre has been there since 2010, and in the last year, at the start of 2024, we rebranded whilst we opened our new facility, the gym RiversMeet Performance on the Brickfields Business Park. Really, that's helping us to accomplish our mission, or set really on the right pathway to accomplish our mission, which is to foster the physical, mental, and social health of our local community. Because ultimately, that's what we're here for as a leisure trust based in Gillingham. How do we do that? Jill had asked me actually to create this presentation around activities that we do for the young and the old, and that's really how I based this here. And you can see that we've got various different activities that go on. There's a plethora, a wide range of activities. Over 115 exercise classes a week. They run at about 80% occupancy currently, which means that we are very busy. We see over 15,000 visits a month from local residents. We've over 200 students in our British gymnastics affiliated club, which runs out of the Brickfields Business Park. Over 600 students within our Learn to Swim programme, which really does run from babies, quite literally parent and toddler lessons, baby lessons, all the way up to senior lessons, people learning how to swim after retirement. Which leads us on to the other work that we do for the senior age group. Within RiversMeet Active, we have over 40 hours a week of instructor-led activities that are specifically tailored to the needs of those individuals. Over 80 hours of public swimming a week. And we have the pleasure of being able to deliver the holiday activity funding for Dorset Council, which is part of the Free School Meals initiative. And since we started that in 2022, you'll see that the number there is nothing really to be shirked at. We've served 5,200 meals to low-income families and children that are on free school meals outside of school time, which is the important thing there. So they've still got access to, I don't want to say childcare because it's not childcare, but activities, provision for activities and hot, healthy meals, which is the important thing there. At the end of 2022, we launched quite a revolutionary exercise referral scheme, and since we've started that, we've completed over 300 exercise referrals now. We're referred into from over 12 different bodies that our fitness manager's done a fantastic job of pulling all of these together. We started with Active Dorset, that kind of gave us the framework to work from, and then we now connected with 12 different bodies, as I've just said, coming from physiotherapists through to mental health provision and just from your general practitioner. Across 3 counties, because we're on this tri-border, of course we are in Dorset, but we do get referrals from Mere in Wiltshire and even as far as cardiac rehabilitation from Yeovil in Somerset, which kind of gives you the scope of lack of provision for leisure facilities to be able, for NHS bodies to be able to refer into, just because we're getting them from so wide. I've got at the bottom here, did you know that our referral scheme, since we've actually established it and we've been working closely with the medical practice, has helped them to achieve the accolade of active practice, which was awarded to them by the Royal College of General Practitioners in London. These slides are all about really showcasing how our business model works. Some of these pictures, if I tell you what the pictures are, they're the same rooms, and as you travel through the arrows, it shows you what we've done with the rooms. So we've developed the rooms as time has gone on, we've put equipment in them, we've repurposed them, and we've done that because of the needs of the community, but it's also the community that has enabled us to do that, because without their subscription fees, we don't create that profit that's then able to be reinvested. So there is this cycle that works quite nicely, and it's all based around community. But that's the old gym in the top left-hand corner there, which was refurbished in 2019. We had to change meeting rooms into an exercise studio because there was so much demand for it. Again, in the bottom left, an exercise studio has turned into what we call a gym studio, which is now a multifunctional space which helps deliver our exercise referral scheme. So there's specialist equipment in there, arm cycles and things for people that are lesser able, but also what I call guided movement machines, which help take people through a range of movement very safely. So it's a specialist room, which has been developed in the referral scheme. And here's the growth of our fantastic gymnastics club, which is affiliated with British Gymnastics, as I was mentioning earlier, which is almost quadrupled in size, but it has moved location into the Brickfields Business Park. That's actually the old Legends nightclub in that picture. And that's the old Legends nightclub smoking area, which has been developed into RiversMeet Performance's second room, which is really our strength and conditioning gym. It's done remarkably well since we've opened it. It's far exceeded our expectation, but more importantly for us as a charity, it's really given us space within RiversMeet Active to be able to change lives, improve health markers within the local community with the referral scheme. We wouldn't have had the room to do that previously if we weren't able to shift some of our membership into this facility to make use of all of this new equipment. This slide is really to show you the scale of how committed we are to the future and really developing a good future provision for sports and leisure within North Dorset. We've done our best. Whilst we were out of contract at the end of 2022 for energy, we've done our best to reduce our emissions and reduce our energy consumption. And you can see on here that we've managed to reduce our consumption by 50%. And now, Jim, if you go to the next one, it will show you how we've actually managed to reduce our carbon emissions by 92% within a 3-year window, is because we now have a 340 kilowatt solar array on the roof at RiversMeet Active. So 84% of our new energy profile, which was reduced by 50%, is now coming from green energy sources. So we've been in survival mode recently as a charity. Post-COVID, the trading environment was very difficult. We've now taken quite a number of steps towards securing future provision for the charity. And this is really the point that I'm finally able to talk about the things that we've done and to try and work in partnership with a lot more local bodies ultimately. We're right on the precipice of launching our wellbeing hub from what was previously actually Dorset Council Children's Services that ran out of the old leisure centre. That will now become the wellbeing hub, and that will become a focal part of our exercise referral scheme. We hope to have Dorset Mind working out of there for 1 day a week, but what we're trying to do is pull a lot of different charitable bodies in to the facility to be able to signpost to the correct areas if we don't have those expertise in-house. And we do have an awful lot of expertise in-house. There's a fantastic group of staff at GCLT. There's 70 employees, and that's it from me. There's one final slide. Yeah, I just wanted to say thank you again for giving me the opportunity to speak. It was condensed, and I know some of you have heard that before, some of you haven't heard this before, but I did try and condense it. But yeah, thank you very much.
I've heard some of that before. RiversMeet is an absolute gift, and the effort you take to be an ambassador of Gillingham is not possible. It's really sort of serious achievements there, and you come from strength to strength. I remember a presentation similar to this after COVID, and it wasn't possible. Turn out right with the resources you have. It's quite an achievement, I say. Well done, you. I hope to see you again soon. Earlier this year, I was delighted to accompany Councillor Anna Marsh on a visit to Gillingham Youth Football Club to learn more about the club and discuss future challenges. I would now like to invite Rob Snow, Secretary of Gillingham Town Youth Football Club, to give a short presentation. Rob, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Roger. Yeah, thank you for inviting me today. So this is our lovely home. People probably know Gillingham Town Football Club. It's in town, right? We've let into Magna. So a fantastic facility. Great evenings as well. Beautiful sunset there. So I'm vice chairman, secretary, head football, groundsman, lead groundsman. I have a team of 6 people help me. Kit Marathon, my under 18s team. I'm also a registered football coach as well. Quickly, a bit about my background. I'm from Shaftesbury, my grandparents in Gillingham. I played for a lot of local teams in the area, so like of Shaftesbury, Darthead, Gillingham before I moved later around there and the State, and then came back again. It's great to be back as well, to say that. So mainly, there's a few bullet points I've got to go through. Who we are, what our objectives, what successes have we had, and why. We go through some of those details. What are key problems and how we look to overcome them, and where do we want to be in the next sort of 3 or 4 years or so. Personally, I have a deep-rooted passion for sport, particularly for football and running. So I work now. I'm not really a local person, but I can see what great work is happening up at North Coast Rugby Club, which is amazing. It's absolutely something that the football club aspires to be like and become. So I think it's absolutely amazing to have so much good sport in the local area. Obviously, sport particularly provides massive benefits to not only the adults in the town, but also our children, especially since COVID as well. So, improving a lot of their physical health, mental well-being. We really push building, being with their friends, actually more than the competitive side, is really important, especially for the younger kids before they move into competitive football. And also having role models around them as well. So having good people with young children is really important for the town. We try and encourage our coaches to be nurturing, not too pushy. These are children. We do get a lot of pushy coaches at our football club, and we do try to mentally make sure they do show the softer side of why they're there. It's also the participation and being with friends and being overly competitive. As one of the ethos that we're trying to instill in everyone. Obviously being inclusive as well. It's a team sport. Everyone should be invited to come along and have a go. So I've been at the club at 8 years. Myself and Matt Pepper as chairman, unfortunately not here tonight. We took over the running of the club about 6 years ago. So we took over just before COVID hit, which was it was extremely difficult with everything shutting down. And then coming back after COVID and having all these restrictions in place, where you could only have small groups of people together at a time, which was quite difficult from a training perspective. Now, really, since COVID, we have grown massively. I think I'll say slide, please. Thank you. Okay. So our main mission statement is to provide a safe, inclusive environment for local boys and girls between the ages of 6 to 18 years of age to enjoy, develop and play football with their friends, a place where participation and friendships are more important than winning. So when we first took over the club 6 years ago for COVID and came back, we basically put it out there. We wanted to grow the club. We saw how much potential there is, the size of the town and how fast it's growing. So we've grown from about 8, 9 teams when we first took over up to the 20 teams I think we're up to now. And we've grown from about 100 children And we now got 320 kids signed on, which is absolutely amazing. It's the numbers are fantastic, and it's going from strength to strength. And obviously, with bigger numbers of children, you need more coaches and volunteers. So we promote starting a team, and we then try to get volunteers to run the team, and that's the tricky part, right? Because all parents, they enjoy watching football, enjoy watching their kids participate in football, enjoy keep drinking the coffee from the coffee shop we've got set up there. But it's really difficult to draw people into actually commit to managing the teams. So that's one of the challenges. But we've been pretty successful. We've got 65 volunteer coaches now, which is really amazing. So it feels like we're kind of managing a small school now in our spare time, which is going to be a bit challenging. And all the coaches, we get more DBS checks to make sure they're fit and proper people to look after our children. They're safeguard trained as well, first aid trained, and we go for the FA accreditation for their coaching badge as well. So we try and make them give them the best platform possible to be good coaches and train our kids up. And we have a small committee, so like I said, that Pepper chairman, I'm vice chairman, I have a lot of roles, but it's unfortunately when people leave, it's difficult to backfill roles. So I keep asking, please, anyone will step forward to come and help, and I seem to land a few roles. So if there's any volunteers who fancy being a secretary or a helper, let me know. That's a challenge. So we have Elaine Stewart, who's our club treasurer, does a fantastic job collecting all the fees up and keeping us on top of our finances side of it, which are looking really good. And Sue O'Brien, our welfare officer. So she makes sure all our coaches, their DVS and safeguarding are all in date, and keeps on top of make sure people are qualified and do various renewals and bits. It's really important. And recently we recruited Gundick as a referee, coordinator. So he's very looking after all our match day, making sure matches have referees who are trained what they're doing, which can be quite a difficult job when you've got lots of passionate parents watching matches and everyone's shouting at the referee. Our parents are normally pretty good to them. But yeah, so we train up our younger players from sort of under 16 to under 18 teams to be referees as well. So that's really good for them for that number. So looking to Magda, that's our home base. We've got 9 acres of land. We've got 7 pitches up there that we look after. Like I said, we've got a small volunteer team of about 6 coaches. We've got an old decrepit mower, which is falling apart, definitely. So every time I train someone up, they go up there. Unfortunately, quite often the mower breaks down. So that's also a challenge at the moment. So we're looking to replace our mower. So we've had a few fundraisers and try and get some money together for that. But we have 65 coaches at the club. Yeah, lots of people, lots of skills, right? So it's a really good benefit to us, and we all muck in. So, for example, Gillingham Garden Machinery, we have helped them then to come and help fix our mower. If it breaks down, they charge us just the parts and not the labour, which is brilliant. And support from their community. Our training facilities, so we train on the Gillingham Astro, and also we have to use Port Meter School. Sometimes we go up to the council as well. We're really at full capacity for training. There's no slots available. It's really difficult to try and grow a club when you haven't got facilities available to you. So we are full at Kington with all the teams we've got. We can't really go much bigger because there's just not capacity on the pitches, and really there's not enough slots now on the school Astro and using Port Regis to grow the club much further. So we are hitting those buffers now, really. So I think that will be a challenge going forward, obviously with the expansion of town as well. And I expect there'll be a lot more participation going forward. So it's something we're kind of looking to address in other areas. So we are affiliated with Dorset FA, which allows us to put on the platform to play football in sort of mini to competitive level. So We regularly keep with the Dorset FA Minis, which is the other 7 under 10 age groups, so that's more competitive. We also are registered with Dorset Youth Football League, that's the 11s under 16s, and I've also started over the last 3 years an under 18s team in the Dorset League. And we start to build a bit more of a player pathway with Gillingham Town Football Club, so under 18s go and play on the main Woodwater pitch, which is really good for their development and playing in nice facilities. Okay, just over maybe a year ago, it might be 2 years ago now, Dorset FA recognised us as a club of strategic importance. So throughout all the clubs in Dorset, we're one of 6 in the county which have been given that status. And we've been given an FA advisor to help work with us to prepare us to be investment ready. So this basically means that Dorset FA recognise all the good work which everyone's been doing and the growth and potential of our club. They then work alongside the Football Foundation and we start looking at what grants are available to us. So they can often provide a percentage of grants, but not the full amount. So, for example, we've had new goals for football pitches, which they provide us with about 50–60% of the money for. We fundraise for the rest. We've had a nice large grant from the Football Foundation for pitch improvement funds. So that's basically investing in the actual pitches themselves to make sure they're sustainable for the amount of teams we have playing in there, and not just a big mud guard. So we use AJ Abbott and they come in each summer now to look after our pitches, to decompact, oversoil, reseed, get the pitches looking nice again. It's actually important when you've got the amount of teams we've got playing in that. I say small area, 9 acres isn't small, but it is small with the amount of kids playing on it on a regular basis. Okay, we decided we set up the club. We started on kind of a one club identity for everyone, so everyone feels really inclusive in the town. So all the kids wear the same football shirts. They play matches, and we also been buying them their jackets. So you might have seen some of the kids walk around town with their jackets on, in terms of jackets. And all those are sponsored by local organisations and being mainly in Gillingham, which is really good. So we get a lot of support from the community. And we started up an online shop, so we've got branded Gillingham Town football merchandise that people can buy. So that's really good. Kids can go and buy a hoodie or other sort of leisure wear, which they can then use to play sport and maintain structures. Okay, I've mentioned the reference. Okay, so successes, I've kind of touched on a few of the successes already. So great for numbers, so good participation, community apprenticeship, it equals great for numbers of children. The grants, I mentioned the goals, funds, great volunteer support on the numbers we're getting from the coaches. We set up, we had a grant from Howardens where we refitted the kitchen at International. So we serve teas and coffees and a cake as well. Sunday mornings, we have a few volunteers who come and run that cafe. So really good. One of the main things we focused on also is the car park extension. So obviously, as the numbers are growing, obviously you need the infrastructure to grow as well. So we had a small car park at Kingston, which really didn't cope with the amount of cars coming up there. This is the new car park we put in, I think it's about a year or so old, about 2 now. So this was originally just a grass section of field, and we were having to use that every week for cars to park on. And as you can imagine, in winter, that gets a bit wet and slippery. So that became a bit we thought a bit of a health safety hazard with children walking around with potentially cars sliding over the place. But it was the only way we really could get people up at Kingston because it wouldn't fit the purpose otherwise. So what we managed to do is we got a load of volunteers together, ground workers and coaches at the club, We spoke to the local Kingsmith Servicing. They helped us get supply of stone, which we got a cost. So really, we put a really cheap car park for us, and all we paid for the stone for the cost, which is an amazing effort by them coming together to do that type of project. Next slide. So unfortunately, on occasions, we still get this problem. Okay, that's with the car park extension. What I've had to do myself is I get up there early on match day so I can be a steward, because it's quite fun to go out there. And some of the car parking spaces are not being fully utilised properly, so we might get 4 cars taking up 2 spaces. So we go out there, we make sure the cars are packed as tight as possible. But when we have busy days, we still get car parking problems like that, which isn't safe for the children to be able to get out on a 60-mile-an-hour road. It is dangerous. So we've got plans this summer to extend the car park even further. So there will be another car park the same size as the second one you just seen, behind a small learner-side pitch. So hopefully all these parking problems will go away, hopefully by the start of next season. Okay. That was our original first, that was our main car park when we started. And the reason I put this picture in actually is because it's got Network Rail in there. So Network Rail have been hiring our car park out. They've been doing some major rail work down the road on the bridge. So we've been renting out this space to Network Rail during the day when obviously the children are not there. And they've been giving us funds to go towards our car park. So I think they've given us the region about £6,000 go towards extending our latest car park, which is great funding for us. Okay, so where do we want to be in the next 3 years? We do want to continue to grow as a club. We want more girls teams up there. There is an imbalance still, and there are girls who want to play football. We need to find ways of getting more girls up into the football club. We need to start younger teams with girls coming up as well, which we need to kind of focus on. And also we'd like to move into some of the minority groups, like disability teams, refugee groups, and even walking football up there. It's a lovely venue, especially in the southern months, and there's no reason why walking football couldn't happen. Obviously looking further to expand the car park. We want to build by the commercial merit, because our current one is unreliable, which causes no end to problems. We are trying to get security tenure into management. What that basically means is that currently the pitches are owned by Gillingham Town Social Club, which we rent off of them. And because we haven't got a long lease of the ground, it basically means that it blocks us from getting funding from football foundations to spend on investment projects. So at the moment, we've got decrepit buildings up there, which are really end of life and have been for some time, and they all need replacing. So if we get security tenure, then we can then move forward and get new buildings and a good plant up there for some better facilities, changing buildings for the kids. Big project work at the moment with the Local Foundation and our local partners at the council. We are looking at how we can try and get them on the 3D surface to train on. We are under the early stages of that, looking into it. We've not seen any improvements yet, but it's work in progress, and hopefully over the coming year or so we'll make further progress. We're in a partnership with Gillingham School, so we'd like that 3D surface, if possible, to go onto the school grounds, so it's secure for our kids. It's not using an enterprise scheme instead. Ideally, we need more space. So if you want to expand, like I said, Peter Magna is full. So if you do want to expand, we probably do need to look at other areas where to expand into, because otherwise we're not going to have capacity for the kids moving forward, especially with the sub extension the estate's going up. Okay. That's my under 18s football team after our last second in the season against Christchurch going 1-4-2. Very rich guys, I'm not sure that was their idea as well. I was waiting to go and talk to me, but luckily they didn't. So any questions at the end? Excellent, that's great. Well, thanks so much. Thank you.
Could be forgiven thinking, well, it's not wise to forgive a football, not up with other teams, how hard can it be? Well, it's thanks to the dedication and enthusiasm of people like what these that work. It's 20 teams, you say, 620 players, all of them children, all of them have got something to do on a Sunday morning, in evenings to play. What an astounding achievement! And I think on behalf of the council, we would like to support you when we're talking to developers, talk about the future of Gillingham as well. So well done you. Engagement is at the heart of determining council priorities. It has been a great honour to be able to engage with the community this year. During the past 11 months, the Deputy Mayor and I have attended over 100 events. 100 events. Oh, and one more thing I forgot that it's really important is to remember that full presentation that you gave to Stonewall, which pretty well overshadowed mine in terms of content. It's all done by volunteers. Volunteers. So it's really considerable achievement. Okay, it's been a great honour to be able to engage with the community this year. During the past 11 months, the Deputy Mayor and I have attended over 100 events. From senior members of our community to the youngest, they have all had a voice, and it's important to us that they are all heard. It has been a privilege to visit Fernbrook Lodge, the Meadows and the Malthouse care homes, offering companionship and civic recognition to the residents and staff within them. The Deputy Mayor and I have also visited Gillingham Primary School, White Primary School, St Mary's Primary School, White Sheep Primary School, and Gillingham Secondary School. And we will get the Ulster School okay, where we have attended assemblies, nativity plays, and given presentations on subjects such as democracy. I've also had the opportunity to present many of the Year 6 students of these schools with their end-of-year certificates, marking the occasion of them progressing from primary to secondary school, which is usually quite an exciting day. We were delighted to attend Hipbones. Hipbones has got talent. A heartwarming showcase of talent with performances that were enjoyed by all. It's difficult to find the words to express the determination and courage of these young performers as they laid on this very impressive performance. As with many events in England, these events wouldn't happen without the dedication of the volunteers that make this happen. For this event and this, we should be very grateful to these people on behalf of the residents of Gillingham. Thank you. Yeah, so we got twice then. Gillingham Scouts and Leaders enjoyed a visit to the town hall to learn about local democracy also. Discuss their environmental projects and environmental projects as in their environmental projects and knocking at large or generating large colleges, and they asked those people to attend on these in order to gain evidence for one of their badges that they achieve. And to ask questions or matters that matter to them. And I'm here to tell you, if you fill the room for the Beavers and Scouts, some of the questions they can ask you can be quite challenging. We were able to give these young members of our community a tour of the town hall. Some of whom have family members with some of our past mayor and Freeman board. The Deputy Mayor and I also took the opportunity to welcome new businesses to the town. We wish them very success. It's been an honour to carry out ceremonial and civic duties on behalf of the town with numerous civic events across Dorset and beyond. We have engaged with local food bank, voluntary car link scheme, Reach Addiction Services, the Clothing Exchange, and Gillingham Repair Cafe, all who provide a much valued service for our town. We have also been proud to attend sports matches supporting our local teams. And I'm going to mention, even though Donna's not here, attending last Sunday, I think it was, the ladies hockey match, where they achieved the semi-finals of the national championships, and we're minutes away from gaining access to the finals. I'm not over yet from the ruling was. It was really night nail pitching. We've also been proud to attend sports matches at the OK. I didn't like this, where it says, and I've eaten lots of on here, there's a smiley, which I'm having trouble coping with. Jake, you need to shoot about that if you don't mind. So the evidence is fairly. I'm supporting the carnival, one of the town's long-standing traditions and a week-long event enjoyed by many. I've also attended ribbon-cutting ceremonies, and I've been delighted to open some of Gillingham's new developments. In November, I attended the opening of St Martin's extra care scheme in Gillingham and was extremely impressed by wonderful facilities available to residents. I now have great pleasure in inviting Caroline, Martin and Adam Fitzgerald to give a short presentation on the St Martin's extra care scheme. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you for having us here tonight. Roger. My name is Caroline. I'm the registered manager at St Martin's.
Hi everyone, I'm Adam Fitzgerald. I'm the Accommodation and Support Programme Manager at Dorset Council. So we've worked really closely over many years now with Magna, and we've got something for Magna as well in case you've got some questions, and with Cllr Dorset around this new scheme.
So just going to talk through our goals and aims of the scheme. So more from a care point of view. So we're looking at care home avoidance. So if we can avoid people going into care homes and support them to live independently, that's a really big win for us. Reducing social isolation. We all know, particularly from COVID, that a lot of us spend an awful lot of time at home. And when you're older, it's quite difficult to break that cycle when it becomes a habit, and it's easier to stay at home. Integrate people into the local community, and also to help support and develop life skills, and also to maintain them, as well as increasing independence. So I've just got pictures really, because I'll talk through each of the pictures, but they kind of explain more than words can say, to be honest. So both of the ladies in these pictures actually came out to the care homes to come and live with us at St Martin's. So this lady, this side, sorry, not very good left and right. She's actually spent 9 years in care home prior to coming to St Martin's. She's been with us for 5 or 6 months. And she absolutely loves it. It's been a new lease of life for her. Her communication has developed. And she's there with Anne from the Dementia Friendly Gillingham, who presented her with a talking bird, which is a delight. And as you can see in the other picture, you know, the other lady there, she's spent a few months in a care home because the house that she was living in prior to was not suitable for her to return. So coming to St Martin's offers her an opportunity to still live independently, which she's really embraced into being there. So reducing social isolation. So we've started, so it took a little while for us to fill up, and we're almost 50% done. So we've been a bit of a slow burner, but from day one, we really started trying to integrate people and build friendships. So we started a coffee morning. So every day at 11, they will sit down and have coffee. It's fun to speak. And that's really great. And sometimes you get a few people, and some days you'll get nearly everybody that comes, and it's no pressure thing. We go around, we ask people if they want to join, if they're not able to come down independently. But otherwise they just come on down, and sometimes they can be there for an hour and a half, still chatting away. But it's lovely and great to see when you're walking around, you can really hear this great vibe. We also have a knit natter group. Again, it's just a big basket of noodles, and then just to rock up and join in. At Christmas time, this couple had not really had much in the way of facilities before they came, and they were able to enjoy it on Christmas dinner, actually sat at the table. And also we did flower arranging. So we try and put on activities that are chosen by the people that we support. We've done work to integrate into the local community. So there were a little bit of delays to the project. So we actually trained some of our staff at the Legion just opposite, and we invited the Gillingham Dementia Friends in. So we are actually Gillingham Dementia friendly. But also we've had, as you can see just at the very top, we had the Beavers in at Christmas, which was great, and everybody enjoyed a bit of camera singing. There was a video, but nobody needed that. We've worked hard with runners. They regularly come over and join us in our coffee mornings. And we're hoping to set up poetry groups. And there's another lady I think that's hoping to set up and lead. And we've also worked with Gillingham Church, and we have every month we have a Holy Communion. And Gillingham Medical Centre we are hoping to set up as perhaps a wellbeing hub in time. So that's something that we've discussed with them as well. So supporting and developing life skills. So we've worked with people to help them to learn baking skills and cooking healthy meals, and just cooking things from scratch. So it's quite easy as you get older and are less able to have microwave meals, but obviously they're not from an awful lot of nutritional value. And so we're working to build a community. So we do lots of different activities. So we've been doing painting. Some are great at painting, others not so much. But it's something that they would not been able to access before, and it's been really great. And it's a real mix of people that are coming together. And we also did baking one afternoon, and they spent hours baking these 2 cakes. It was great at the time. They were there for about 4 hours, ages doing these cakes. Going to the next one. Yeah, so we've got the sponge cake they made there. And they had a word of fun. But it really is about bringing people together. So this lady spent all of her time prior to coming to St Martin's just in her flat. Now she comes down for coffee every day, and she joins in with things. She does window shopping through Amazon that she's never been able to do before. That's a bit of a double-edged sword, isn't it? But she's really come out of herself, and that really is the whole point of all of this. And it's that giving people their life back.
So, I haven't got any slides, but I think this just really illustrates kind of what's trying to be created here. It's extra care housing is not a care home, but it provides an alternative for people who might otherwise end up in a care home. And it's about giving people somewhere that they can live independently. They've got their own front door, everyone has their own flat, but it still provides the community and the social integration and the peace of mind from having a really great care service on site for people that need it. It's Gillingham St Martin's Extra Care Scheme is the first of our sort of new vision for extra care housing in Dorset. So in Dorset, we want to see more extra care housing. And this is the first scheme that we've commissioned with a new care support service that can really fulfil that role of providing a genuine alternative to care homes. And we're really proud of what Magna have created here and what Care Dorset are creating in the community. And we're really proud to have worked together in partnership over all these years to finally get the scheme out of the ground and available for people that live here in Gillingham.
Massive, thank you very much. I don't know about anybody else. I hard to imagine that time when it wasn't them. It can't be neither a public star, wasn't it? But like I said, it's hard to imagine it not being there. And in terms of integration, yeah, absolutely. Even so much so this week, was it yesterday? You had a tour of the Gillingham Historical Society. You invited in. Yep. So they told me all that last night was, and they're very like I was very impressed with the legacy of the old St Martin's St Martin's you've left some of their patterns on your stainless windows, the old emblem that was above one of the doors of the building, if you will, your walls, isn't it?
Yeah.
So no, it's a really nice touch, and the environment there and the facilities are.
I hope there's some brochures there for everybody wants to.
Yes, it's
It's surprising.
And the other thing is, when you were building, it's not possible. It's like it's on the art of the town. So that Joel's thinking he's moving away from this river. But whenever we had one, and there weren't many like things like time, you've got an awful lot of contractors there. All we had to do was come along and ask you and as best they could. They're always receptive to ones and they try to fix them as best they could. So no, it's been seamless and we're really grateful for being here. Well done for what you do. Thank you. And before I move on, I got this because I mentioned earlier on about us having the cooperation of many agencies within town, and I've just noticed we've got a list of them. I go in, and on behalf of Gillingham, thank you. You're a very busy guy, so I couldn't let that go unsaid. So I'm fully expecting that I was on the list. No, it had to be said. You always seem to be there, even if people say they're not. And yeah, we are very grateful for what you do. Okay then. So another round of applause for Caroline and Adam and all the people who come here to talk about us and Okay then, on the 6th of June 2024, Gillingham commemorated the 80th anniversary of D-Day. A civic event was organised by Gillingham Town Council with wreathing, beacon lighting and performances from local choirs. Under the leadership of Councillor Donna Troy, we were able to pull together many moving parts to make the event work. This included 2 full bands, one of them our very own band. The Gillingham detachment of the Army Cadet Force did a full parade for us, a full getting on parade, and a magnificently turned out Toastmaster who was able to coordinate the whole thing for us as well. Supported by the Reverend Canon Tim Heaton and the Reverend Angus Mayhew, and the Gillingham branch of the Orcs Legion, we held a fully formal drumhead service with wreath laying ceremony. Yeah, and the event was finished off by the beacon lighting, which was part of a national event across the whole nation. The event was a resounding success, and thanks must go to everyone involved. I would like to say a special thank you to Mary Bailey. Thank you. No, a very special thank you to Mary Bailey, Chairman of Gillingham Carnival Committee, for her continued support in providing and organising marshals for council events and for sharing her considerable knowledge, experience and advice with our task and finish groups. Thank you, Mary. The actual finding of marshals is difficult enough. The coordinating of the events and actually finding someone you can work with is hard enough. Finding someone to lead the effort and give advice, and I usually myself always remember some things. Finding somebody with the skills and the understanding of the patients often to manage them is extremely for that we're very grateful. And well done you. May it long continue. Thank you. One of the highlights of the city of the year was the freedom of the town awards, which was delivered to Mary Bible for 50+ years, dedication to Gillingham Carnival and to the Gillingham Imperial Silver Band, a cornerstone of civic life for over a century. The freedom of the town is the highest civic honour that a town or city can bestow. I would now like to invite Steve Ingham to give a short presentation on our wonderful band. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Rhetorical question, perhaps to start with. You know, what do people think of when you think of a brass band? The traditional. You know, what is it about them? I mean, I didn't get into brass bands until I started playing when I was 45. So it's a chance to get almost. Historically, it was formed in the late 1800s. There seems to be different dates given, the 1880s, mostly as a jazz band. And then when the First World War happened, it sort of folded, but we started again in 1928. And it formed again as a brass band, and it's been in the brass band in town ever since. So we've got some other slides here. See the uniforms have changed from the 50s. This is probably the 80s, my guess is 2010, and that's filming just for show last year. In the 80s, the supporters of the brass of the band raised enough money to buy the premises, which is the old stables next to the Phoenix. Very privileged to have them. So normally a brass band would have 25 to 30 players in it. Since COVID, that's been a problem for us. A lot of players moved away during that time with work, decided not to come back. As we've all seen, it's a battle. And when you're talking about practicing musical instrument, what do they say? 10,000 hours of practice to be proficient at something. That's a long time. So, where we are, what we're still trying to do. Our aim is to bring live music to local events for people to enjoy and add something to an occasion. We've just seen the 80th anniversary of D-Day that we were at as well. That's an occasion. We want to teach and encourage participation. We want to raise money to keep us going. It's not cheap. And some other charities that we occasion. So why do we do what we do? What we enjoy. Sometimes it comes a little bit onerous, but we enjoy. So, what would life be like without music? Music's everywhere. It's not just pop music, classical music, but it's in adverts, it's in rhythms that you hear as you walk down the street, all sorts of things. And music brings people together. Strengthens social ties. There's a connection there when people like different bands or whatever. Creates memories. If you've been to a concert and then you meet somebody else who went to the same concert, is there talking about it? Did you enjoy it? Or did you not enjoy it? So all sorts of genres of music. Proves for players, it proves confidence, resilience, and it provides a creative outlet. Joy in music, both listening and in playing. There's lots of studies that say, all sorts of benefits of learning musical instrument or learning to read music. Stimulates the brain, particularly in bands. It improves teamwork. If you don't work as a team, honestly, it sounds really sad. You can play your own bit, but if it doesn't match together, it's not going to work. It's the same with football. Any team sport, it's the same. With too many individuals, it doesn't work. You need to have a team. So it improves team. improves people thinking about each other. It's supposed to be a great stress relief. Sometimes when we try and put something on, it's not quite stress reliever, it's more stress generator. And then some people, as they're learning, will find that, you know, the difficulty in the music that you're reading might actually add to their stress. But once you get over that hurdle and you've achieved that little bit, that difficult passage of music, it's really good. I mean, but what it does when you play is it takes away from any other stresses in your life that are going on. So, you know, if I'm playing music, I cannot think about work. All I'm thinking about is what I've got to do, what everybody else is doing, and what the guy in the front we have on is doing. So from that sense, yes, it's a stress reliever. It's supposed to improve patience, tries people's patience, improves memory, creativity, and time management. Time management, you know, is quite a challenge for all of them. Creates a sense of achievement. If you played in a band, you know, when I started, I was at a full level, and I was playing in a band with high achievers in there, very good players. It's really good to feel part of that overall sound, you know, when you play music, even if you're only contributing a tiny bit. It's also very social. When you're in a band, you form a team, you make connections with each other, even if it's just about playing. Well, there's all sorts of different walks of life that are playing music. What we do, okay, we run an academy. We've always run an academy. At the moment, we're fortunate we've got a qualified brass teacher as the lead for the academy. We have members who support them in doing that. If we want to keep music going, particularly brass music, which seems to be brass playing, seems to be a bit of a different way. We have to keep kids and adults coming through and learning to play the brass instrument. So our aim is to try and keep it available to anybody. We own an instrument. As a parent, this is how I started. And two kids wanting to learn. We, as a parent, felt we wanted them to learn music. We heard the brass band had a due section. We took them along. They learned as an instrument. Very little money. As a parent, you know, I've not paid out £300-500 for an instrument, and then find that 2 months later the kids put it in the back of the wardrobe and never touched it again, and it just sits there. So, you know, you're on a winning wicket there as a parent. Bring your kid along, we load an instrument. If the kid gives up after 3 months, you haven't lost anything, you just give the instrument back. That's fine, and then it's to the next one. How do we get people learning? We've been out to primary schools, we went to the Beavers, into the Cubs. We give many concerts there, a lot of workshops, so the kids can try instruments out and try and make it fun and interesting. And we're trying to make various big academy players to continue to the singing band. What we do, or historically we've done, concerts. We take part in Remembrance Days. Unfortunately, we don't have enough players to march for these things now. You probably need 14 or 15 players at least to make enough sound that works well. But we still participating in, you know, if we're well, the Carnival has since COVID, I think it's Gillingham playing, but we're supporting the Gillingham band, making connections with that. And we're still at least half dozen of our players, and as people get older, you know, carrying this thing around, believe me, it's not kind of easy. That doesn't appreciate it. As you get older, you know, people are less likely to want to. But it does add a sense of occasion to it. and particularly carnivals, round stone parades, those sorts of things. The marches of England do add a lot to that occasion. We go out and about around the town. We've been involved in Gillingham Shaftesbury Show for a number of years. Carols of residential homes, Christmas tree festivals at local churches. We run concerts, sometimes other fundraising events. We have open days to try and again encourage people in to learn to play a brass instrument. You know, if we take 10 people in to play a brass instrument, we'll probably get one after out of that 10 lasting after 2 years or so. So the fall off is quite low, and that's partly because we've got to enjoy the practice. Once you get that practice done to a certain level, it's much more enjoyable to play. But it's a hard battle to start off with, and there's so much else for the kids to do. There's football teams that take it. Swimming lessons for the ladies. It's yours. Yeah. Well, I'm really very glad to. One of the things that has been going on with that is for over 40 years now, and it's been a little bit of struggle to find out when the first exchange actually happened was, but we think it's somewhere 84 or 82 this happened. So there's a concert band in Germany, Music Victoria Hiller, who we've done an exchange usually every couple of years. So they come over here and they're due over here next year, and we go over there next time. So we normally go over, perform a concert and a couple of other things while we're over there for 4 or 5 days. We put up in people's houses. So it's a great thing. It's a good connection between the two bands. It's a similar community. It's a sort of semi-rural area. Town is farming. So it's not dissimilar to the similar sort of population area. I think it's growing a bit faster than we were very proud to receive Freeman of Gillingham recently. And that's, although that's given to us now, all the players that we've had in the town that come before us within the band and going in the future, they're also sponsors. Next slide, please. And an advert, our next event, meeting and everything else, Sunday the 27th of April, 2 to 4 p.m. on the town meadow. We think we've got a band together, supported by lots of friends. So please come on. Hopefully the weather will be as nice as this, and you can, sit out on the feet.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Gillingham and Silverham, Gillingham Imperial Silverham was the other one is actually good. I know that personally speaking, as mayor, whenever I've asked you to do something, on behalf of the town, for example, the various concerts we've had, you've said yes before I've asked you told you what it was. That's a serious commitment, isn't it? So, no, massive thank you. The other thing you mentioned was about the cooperation, almost rivalry of the different groups, the different youth groups in the town, and probably all the other ones as well, in a combination of trying to attract the youth. And it doesn't, the other thing, of course, is volunteers. Yeah. These are all number of volunteers. You did never understand how many volunteers we can. So, again, thank you to everybody who volunteers. Last but not least, a very well deserved freedom for some public. Moving on, thanks must go to Councillor Paul Harris, who sat there looking good in our audience this evening. Chairman, and all members of the Finance and Policy Committee. Their dedicated and diligent work throughout the year has ensured the Council's finances have been managed with integrity, transparency, and in full compliance with regulatory requirements. The committee has played a central role in the preparation and monitoring of annual budgets, the management of precept, and the regular review of financial reports and internal controls. They have also ensured the council operates with its financial means whilst continuing to deliver high quality services for the residents. Or if you can pass on thanks to your committee this evening. Thank you very much. In 2024, the Town Council were able to award grants to the following: Dorset Martins, Gillingham Action for Nature Group, Gillingham Carnival Committee, Hope for Tomorrow, and the North Dorset Rugby Football Club. During the past 11 years, over 18 planning applications have been considered by the Planning Committee. Again. Anybody else? Something like, who thinks I said months? Who thinks I said years? I recognise the player of the game, so I'm going to read this again. So, okay. During the past 11 months, okay, over 80 planning applications have been considered by the Planning Committee. These include large applications for developments on Gillingham Southern Extension, as well as applications for smaller individual properties. The committee members have worked hard. They have attended training, and several members have attended a planning seminar. It's been a busy year, and thanks must go to the chairman, Councillor Roger Weeks, and to all members of the planning committee for a significant achievement of the year. I love their dedication. I wish to thank all members of the Town Council's HR committee under the chairmanship of Councillor Barry Clements, who's sat across there. The committee oversees 16 dedicated members of staff. I also wish to thank all the staff who always go above and beyond, and to the officers who ensure the smooth day-to-day running of the council. Overseeing complex projects and ensuring the council operates efficiently and effectively. I would also like to take this opportunity to extend my heartfelt thanks to all those who have contributed to making Gillingham such a vibrant, welcoming, and forward-thinking town. My sincere gratitude goes to the dedicated councillors and to the hard-working staff of Gillingham Town Council, whose professionalism and diligence underpin everything that we do. And to all the many residents, volunteers, community groups, and local businesses whose passion and pride continue to shape our town to the better. And I welcome any questions.
Something about a community hall, are we likely to get one? And what about the recycling centre?
Well, the community hall is something that we can't really give a comment at the moment. It's something we'd like to do. And as the developments come, they attract a certain amount of funding. And we are trying to, divert that funding and make sure we get our share of it. But at the moment, the community hall is definitely something we've got in mind. We've got a few ideas ourselves, but nothing we can share at this stage. It's certainly an aspiration to have somewhere to replace what we used to use the old building. So yes, but it's something we want to do. We're not in a position to take this further at the moment, but it's definitely an aspiration. What else? It probably doesn't. But yes.
What about the recycling station?
Oh, yes, next one. Yes. Belinda, is that something you can contribute to us?
I could certainly look into it. It would be great filling this out recycling centre.
There we go. And that's the value of that. Yeah, brilliant. So we've got Belinda and we've got Councillor Colwood here as well, who's our Dorset councillors. And what we've done is effectively passed it to them in the course of this meeting, which shows value in having these people on our side. So yes, and they'll probably also take on board what you were saying about the community as well. It's certainly something we would like to aspire to. It's beyond the gift of us directly, and let's put it in their in tray so that they can work on it. And certainly Councillor Roger has offered to come back with an answer about recycling facility. Thank you. Any other questions? Firstly, are you okay with that? Okay. You happy? There are copies of the annual report available on the desk outside of them. If anybody wishes to take them with them. I will close this meeting at 8:55. Thank you very much, everyone, for attending. But the same copy.